Many people around you might look confident, capable, or fine, yet some silently struggle. The ones who never ask for help are not always strong. They've trained their minds to survive alone. Their silence isn't just habit, it's a protective shield, a learned behavior, and a deeply ingrained psychological pattern. Understanding this mind is uncomfortable because it forces you to reflect on the invisible struggles others carry. From a young age, some children learn that asking for help brings disappointment or shame. Praise comes for independence, while struggle is punished with neglect or criticism. Over time, asking becomes associated with vulnerability and risk. The brain internalizes a rule: seek solutions alone, or face the social and emotional cost. This pattern quietly solidifies, creating adults who perceive help as weakness. As they grow, society reinforces this behavior. Independence is celebrated, self-sufficiency praised, and those who stumble are quietly judged. Asking for support often comes with subtle stigma. Over decades, the mind creates a silent narrative. I must handle this alone. Social norms transform a coping mechanism into a rigid mental structure, making help seem unnatural or dangerous. Those who never ask fear they'll burden someone else. Even close relationships trigger anxiety. Each request could bring judgment, rejection, or disappointment. The mind measures every word, every action, anticipating potential costs. Silence becomes a safety mechanism. They protect others from themselves while simultaneously trapping themselves in isolation. Handling everything alone creates a deceptive sense of control. They convince themselves that by not asking, they remain unshakable, invulnerable. Yet every problem carries hidden stress, hidden anxiety, and quiet exhaustion. The mind equates control with isolation, a paradoxical trade-off where autonomy comes at the cost of connection and relief. Internally, tension simmers. The instinct to seek help clashes with learned self-reliance, moral judgment, guilt, and fear of weakness fight against each other silently. They may appear calm, composed, or even successful externally, while internally, the mind runs countless silent calculations to avoid exposure or vulnerability. This psychological pattern spills into relationships. They maintain distance, often subconsciously, keeping interactions surface level. Emotional support is rare, and even trusted partners may notice the wall they can't break. Others' attempts to help can trigger discomfort, irritation, or withdrawal, reinforcing the self-reliance loop. Over years, the habit of not asking takes a toll. Chronic stress, anxiety, and burnout become companions. Opportunities for collaboration or assistance are lost. The mind perceives help as a risk rather than a benefit, leading to self-imposed limitations. Independence becomes isolation. Strength becomes silent suffering. Many develop coping strategies to mask the struggle. Perfectionism, over-preparation, and hyper-planning appear productive, yet they are defensive mechanisms. The mind convinces itself that control equals safety. Every achievement is a shield against admitting vulnerability. Every mistake a threat to their self-concept of independence. You might assume they simply don't want help, but that's only the surface. The truth is far darker. The mind has been trained to avoid connection, to distrust aid, and to overvalue solitude even when it costs their well-being. This silent conditioning shapes every decision, every hesitation, every unseen struggle, making the ordinary act of asking for help almost impossible. Throughout history, societies have admired the lone hero, the soldier, the pioneer, the leader who bears burdens alone. This glorification seeps into individual psychology, reinforcing self-reliance as a moral virtue. Asking for help is seen as weakness. The brain internalizes heroism as isolation, making vulnerability an almost forbidden act. Even when others admire their strength, the mind feels unseen. Praise rarely penetrates the inner struggle, leaving a hollow sense of isolation. External validation masks internal suffering. They're admired for resilience, yet misunderstood for the hidden costs of never asking. The mind creates distortions to justify isolation. I must handle this alone becomes automatic. Risks of asking are exaggerated, while potential benefits are minimized. Every opportunity to delegate is weighed against imagined consequences, making even small requests seem dangerous. Chronic isolation and avoidance of help amplify anxiety, depression, and stress. The mind continuously monitors every challenge internally, amplifying mistakes and setbacks. By refusing support, the brain becomes both judge and executioner, intensifying suffering in silence. To the outside world, they appear competent, composed, and in control. This mask hides exhaustion, doubt, and internal chaos. Confidence is often performative, a way to prevent questions or offers of help which the mind interprets as threats. Even minor requests or suggestions can trigger discomfort. The brain anticipates loss of autonomy, judgment, or obligation. Every approach from others is scrutinized for hidden consequences. What seems like a simple question, "Do you need help?" can ignite internal alarm. Each failed attempt at self-sufficiency or even a small dependency reinforces the mental model. The mind says, "If I had asked, it could have gone wrong." "I'm safer alone." Failures become lessons in isolation, deepening resistance to help. Friends and loved ones may feel frustration, helplessness, or rejection. The refusal to accept help creates subtle distance. Relationships often strain, yet the person believes detachment is protective for themselves and others. Social bonds weaken, but the mind interprets it as maintaining control. Avoiding help limits growth, experiences, and potential achievements. Doors remain closed not due to lack of skill, but due to mental barriers. The brain equates risk with vulnerability, missing opportunities that collaboration could provide, reinforcing the self-reliance trap. You might think independence is a gift, yet the truth is uncomfortable. Their mind has been trained to reject connection. Every problem handled alone strengthens the illusion of strength while secretly eroding well-being. Understanding this psychology challenges assumptions about strength, vulnerability, and human support systems. Over years, this habit becomes deeply entrenched. The mind no longer considers asking for help as an option. It's almost invisible. Independence is no longer a choice, it's a reflex. Vulnerability is subconsciously equated with weakness, and the brain actively resists it. Stress from isolation often manifests physically: tense muscles, headaches, and fatigue. The mind interprets these signals as personal responsibility, proof that one must continue alone. The body becomes a silent record of mental strain. Loved ones may eventually withdraw, confused or exhausted. This triggers subtle guilt, but the mind rationalizes, "I can't rely on anyone. They might fail me." Each withdrawal reinforces the self-reliance pattern, creating a loop of isolation and misunderstanding. Never asking for help creates a false sense of control. The mind believes it can prevent mistakes or disappointment by handling everything internally. Yet, paradoxically, real control slips away, replaced by constant tension and mental overdrive. Refusing support is also emotional armor. Vulnerability triggers anxiety. The mind suppresses emotional expression to maintain composure. Feelings are internalized, unshared, and amplified, leaving the person trapped in their own mental echo chamber. Every chance to collaborate, grow, or learn is filtered through a lens of self-sufficiency. The mind labels dependency as dangerous. Opportunities are lost not for lack of skill, but due to an internalized rule: never lean on others. The internal monologue often justifies isolation. "I'll handle it myself. I can't burden anyone. Others might fail." This becomes automatic, unquestioned, and repetitive, reinforcing the neural pathways of refusal. Occasionally, extreme events force the mind to seek help. These moments are uncomfortable, paradoxical, and often short-lived. Relief is felt, but the ingrained pattern resurfaces quickly as the brain interprets reliance as risky behavior. The refusal to ask for help illustrates a broader truth. Humans fear vulnerability more than failure. Even when help could improve outcomes, the mind prioritizes self-reliance, control, and the illusion of competence over connection. Now, consider yourself. Are you avoiding help because of pride, fear, or habit? Every choice to stay silent reinforces a mental pattern. Understanding this is the first step toward change. Reflect, question, and decide: will you continue alone or take the hand that's offered?